Take 2. Today, Rinpoche emphasized the importance of understanding that even emptiness is conventionally existent, but not intrinsically existent, even conventionally or ultimately. So this is the pith of the Madhyamika Prasangika view. And even though Hinayana foe destroyers hold this view, they haven't coupled it with bodhicitta, and this is why they lack omniscience. Okay, let's Druja Nishu Sani. Druja Nishu Sani. Nishu Sani. That's good. Nishu Sani. Kayare. The Lungsar. That's good. You know. Gang share. Gang share. Substantially. Shino. Yinde. The toga. The lungsar. The delpa.
Yeah.
The lungsar kabiyare. The long yure. The lungsar. You know kabiyare. The union.
Rijibi du tara usaba. In the robas.
The chishina de.
Yonde.
Chishina. The lama. Ganginsina de long. Then a Lamatsun Kappa Delpa. Lamatsun Kappa Delpa. Long Yomare.
Yonde.
This appears that minute particles are substantially existent. It's sampa here. Nye becha da. Let's go. Gangshir Jewa. Zone J. Do Yen la.
Gangshir Taro.
Do.
Jeji Dubi Dani in Las.
Yeah, the 8 substances. Dutsi J. Yomare. Okay, they didn't. Gangshin didn't. Drupa. Do Sheba Dang Jawe Gang. Chikshina de Jawe Kang Datu Par. Chishina de Longsa. The Jawe Tu. Daycheer Wombo. Daycheer Wombo? Chikshina? Daycheer Wombo?
Okay.
Ngate Sampa.
This is Ombi Sheba Shanangi.
Shido. Yeah, did Datayan. Okay, just so I'm the NGK la. So welcome again, everybody. We're in Lama Tsongkhapa's third text in the great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment. So we are on page 171. The middle of the text, right on 171. You'll see the beginning of a paragraph that says, thus it appears. Everybody got it? 171, midway. Thus it appears. Just the break part where the quote is complete from the Blaze of Reasonings. I believe. All right. Digsung Rinpoche, Tuche.
This is Ombi Sheba. Shanagi, Trujo, Hansheba, Naji Maleba, Machu, Ajeji, Tanedo, Dodabatan, Tumbe, Mijin Jeba Yino, Yudelena, Kajiki, Dodaba Naji, Lugan Kaji, Nadaban Pabatani, Omaba Naji, Kundu Dodoshi. Heba Kayaba Dana, Omi Danju Jita Konani, Ngaba Majibi, Kone, Heba Yino, Sheba Shawu, Ganda, Yang Ganda, Shidado, Shiradu Mawa Naji, Kaan Tundaba Dubate, Omaba Naji Kundudu, Yenoshi, Nyadu, Semba Tada Jang, Tenjuji, Teni Yunsu, Mashiba Kona Dindatar, Jiden Debi, Chune, Jiden Bi, Chudan, Tsomba Maribi Shede, Lundene, Tumu Mayimba Ushi, Keba Naji, Nabar Sha Ushi, Sombe, Deba Dadaki, Chuta Tumu Mayimba, Tabi, Zunzi, Chaменsu, Tanyedo, Mudu, Mejedo, Jijabi Deba Lejan, Shira Mawa Tar, Rangi, Deba Naji, Jeje, Duchara, Kelamba, Marisu, She, Duchen, Chame, Kemalamba Sonso, Deba Niji, Deba Nam, Omabe, Kundudo, Kelamba, Chame La Sobi, Mobala Shai, Teniji, Deba Gan, Deba Gan, Omayu, Kundudo, Kemalamba, Deba, Mede, Zudala Soba, Dada. Zudala Soba, Dada, La Soba, Dada Ki, Deman Dejan, Oma Be Gududo, Deba Jino, Jijabi Deba Lejan, On Be Du Taro to be. Obi Dutra to be here. Corne, Oashishi, Jundabat, Kaji, Obunaja, Dutra, the Nita, Jeto, Madrubi, Tadala Tene, Taba, Nashi, Ten Yilla, Tijinto, Yunaja, Tene, Tabi, Tai Oashishi Yudo. Sonji, Cheba na, Ngoson Tabawa na, Yu na, Ngoson Cheneba Jebe, Sumen de na, Sumen le denji ni je, ni, Shiru, Tenyeba Jeba Dayan, Abbot na, Yu na je, Jutsu Madawa Nango. Ha, Wanshi Rangi, Tenyi je, Chenyi la, Tsemayin ba gubi kaso naba jendo ne ngabula naba jendo tayo shiro shezombe ambi shebala zuda su ranki chenye ji chubar tala tawa dar ranki chenye tanye duyan mebe Sumende, Tanye do yang, Dada Chuba Jeba Yino, Dada na, Obi Sheba na, Tanye do, Zudala Subi Yuna, Nabaran Jubi, Tsima Matiba, Mede, Dana Chuba Jubi, Jusen Tawa Taji, Rāki Chenyi Ji Chubi Tumeba Rāyin Yume Chubi Ribi Shibi Ruba Yinchi Tanyebi Teme Teme Rubi Tanyebi Shibala Tude Chuba Mayino Dawani Na Dang Zunyala Subala Wane
So Buddhist.
Lama ni Dawani dan Shiji la Suba Meba Tanyebi Tsamani Ribi Shibala tume tu rubi na, tada na, kama na la yang taba, yanda na, lubi kundu je, iwa teba yino, kale yino.
Okay. Rinpoche, Baba Vega, the Uma Ranjupa, the Dodepa Dandrar, the Ranjupa, then the Dodepa, Dodishupi Ranjupa. Okay. So we're going to get started. Thus it appears, and let me just put my mind. Conventional correct confidence, 624. And Rinpoche ended there. Rinpoche, Cheran the Kaba Kasam. I just want to make sure I know so I can show him if I need to. Rinpoche Tsik Tama. The you know. Okay. Tuche. Mambo Yomare. Tuche. Okay. Thus it appears that he asserts that each of the minute particles of a composite is a cause of a sensory consciousness and is substantially existent. Since he evidently asserts that each of these is the ultimate of minute particles, he implicitly accepts that partless particles are the perpetual perpetual condition for arising of a sensory consciousness. Therefore, Baba Vega asserts that sensory consciousnesses are non-mistaken if they are affected by neither the internal nor external causes of an error explained earlier. At the conventional level, he agrees with the Sautrantikas in his assertions about the perceptual condition for the arising of a consciousness. So just real quickly, obviously for anyone who's new, this all pertains to what we were previously going over, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then if you were here before, if you're not a genius, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So just to kind of break down the tenets just really quickly, the tenet systems are a way to put the philosophical views of various pandits together. So they're broken down in the mainframe way into 4 tenets. The first is the Great Exposition School. The second, which is the Vibhashika school. The second is the Sutra school, or Sautrantika school. The third is the mind-only school, Chittamantran, and then the fourth category is the middle way, or the Madhyamaka. So when you divide Madhyamaka, you can divide it into 2 major headings. Those 2 major headings being the Madhyamika, the middle way consequence school, which is the highest, and the middle way autonomy school, which is right under that. There's only one category of the middle way consequence school, but the middle way autonomy school has 2 categories. So what we're talking about in Sanskrit, the middle way consequence school is Madhyamika Prasangika, and then the middle way autonomy school is Madhyamika Svatantrika. The Madhyamika Svatantrika has 2 categories. The Madhyamika Svatantrika Sautrantika, and the Madhyamika Svatantrika, I think it's the Nipa, I don't know if they don't know the Sanskrit. The Nedra Shupi, yogic, the yogic, Yogachara. I think it's the Yogachara. I'll explain this. So the first category is is called the Middle Way Autonomy Sutra School. The second one is the Middle Way Autonomy Yogic (parentheses) tending towards the mind-only school. So one's similar to the Sutra School. One's similar to the mind-only school in the autonomy categories. And the Baba Vega falls into the category of the Madhyamika, or let's do it in English first, into the middle way autonomy sutra school, or the Madhyamika Svatantrika Sautrantika. So that's the category that Baba Vega falls under. So those are the ways that you can break down the middle way school. It breaks down basically into three, two major headings, and one major heading has two categories. The autonomy school. The autonomy school has one that's similar to the mind only and one that's similar to the sutra school. Baba Vega followed the one similar to the sutra school. The Neja Shupi Ranjupa Su. Su. Kamala Shila.
What does the Kamala Shila kitchen show?
Shandarashita.
Kitchen show.
So we have, if we look at the category of the yogic middle way autonomy yogic school, which is the one similar to the mind only, followers of that school would be Shandarashita and Kamalashila. They would both be followers of that school. And then the Prasangika school, which is the middle way consequence school, the highest school, you have Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, Chandrakirti, Shantideva, Khensur Kanga, Uma Tenjor. Tenjor was. So they, it was Shandarashita and Kamalashila that brought the middle way autonomy school to Tibet from India. The Ranjupa Kuna Chumam. So though they were middle way autonomy school holders, but they brought many teachings to Tibet, but many, of the main teachings to Tibet, but they were holders of the view of the middle way autonomy sutra school themselves. So then when Atisha came to Tibet, Atisha brought the middle way consequence school view to Tibet. Ale, the George Ngama, the Umi Tenjor Pula Yomare. Sama Yomare.
Yeah.
So, and even if it was there, it wasn't clarified. So when we say brought it there, means brought the intent, the true meaning of it. Because there were obviously books already that had the middle way consequence view in Tibet, but they consider Atisha as just a historical perspective. At the time when Atisha came to Tibet, it was a mess in terms of the Dharma. Everything was getting mixed together. There were people teaching wrong view, people doing tantric things that were improper and saying it was okay. So Atisha was known as a reformer, and so that's probably why he is considered the one who brought this view, because it was so muddled at the time. And you have to have that view in order to practice highest yoga tantra. You have to have the consequence view. So people were practicing without it, so that's why there needed clarification and so forth. All right. And then I think I left off at Chandrakirti's explanation of the middle way commentary says, some say that the Madhyamikas accept in conventional terms exactly what the Sautrantikas advocate ultimately. You should understand that those who say this speak out of sheer ignorance of the reality explained in Nagarjuna's fundamental treatise. Also, there are those who think the Madhyamikas accept in conventional terms what the why can't I say it? I just did. Vabhashikas advocate ultimately. Those who think this understand nothing at all of the realities set forth in the fundamental treatise. For supermundane teachings cannot be likened to the worldly teachings in this manner. The learned should know that our system is unique. And just as a note here, a lot of the views that the middle way consequence school hold, not around emptiness, but around just general facts of reality, are similar to the Great Exposition School's views, but not in the super mundane teachings, not in those out-of-worldly teachings, only in those ones that are about generalities and so forth, not about emptiness. Thus, he does not accept even conventionally the partless subjects and objects that are posited by the distinctive tenets of these schools. Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas says, "It is not right for Buddhist schools to assert substantially existent minute particles, as do the Vibhashikas." So all the schools up to the Middle Way Consequence school posit some sort of intrinsic existence. Even if it's conventionally, they posit some sort of intrinsic existence. The Middle Way Consequence school posits no intrinsic existence whatsoever. Thus, he says he does not assert partless particles. So that's the point that's being made here. If it has any of this partless particles in it, it's not Middle Way Consequence view, period. Chandrakirti is referring to things such as partless particles when he says that the Madhyamikas do not assert in conventional terms what the two schools, Vibhashika and Sautrantika, assert ultimately. He does not mean that Madhyamikas reject even conventionally everything these two assert as true. For while Vibhashikas and Sautrantikas assert that things like forms and sounds are true, Madhyamikas do accept the mere existence of these conventionally. In the commentary on the 400 stanzas, Chandrakirti refutes the assertion that even minute particle within a collection of minute particles in a sensory faculty is a cause of a sensory consciousness. He argues that the sensory faculties are not established either as being just those minute particles or as being something other than them. Thus, the basis of the sensory consciousnesses are sensory faculties that are ascribed in dependence upon those minute particles. Likewise, in the case of objects, he says that the objects of sensory consciousnesses exist as constructs that are contingently constructed. He also asserts that the consciousness is designated as direct in the sense of perceiving, but the object of consciousness is actually that is directly before consciousness. Therefore, although the Master Chandrakirti, the Master Bharavavega, are alike in accepting external objects, they seem to differ in how they posit the sensory faculties and their objects. Earlier, while refuting that the sensory consciousness are valid with regard to intrinsic character, Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas said that the object of a sensory consciousness is deceptive because it exists in one way but appears in another. Thus, things like forms and sounds appear to sensory consciousness as though they existed by way of their own intrinsic character, but the intrinsic character that appears to them does not exist even conventionally. Therefore, Chandrakirti asserts that these sensory consciousnesses are mistaken even conventionally. Still, it is not plausible for sensory consciousness to be valid cognitions that posit objects such as form, sound, and so forth conventionally. The reason why those sensory consciousnesses are posited as mistaken is that there is no object that exists by way of the intrinsic character such as appears to them. The non-existence of such a object is established by a reasoning consciousness analyzing whether things exist intrinsically. It is not at all established by conventional valid cognition. Therefore, in terms of conventional consciousnesses, they are not mistaken. As for consciousnesses that perceive things such as a double moon or a reflection, objects such as those which appear to them, two moons, a reflected face, and the like, do not exist. This is established by conventional valid cognition itself without relying on a reasoning consciousness. Thus, it is appropriate that these wrong sensory consciousnesses and the 5 valid sensory consciousnesses be differentiated as correct conventional consciousnesses and incorrect conventional consciousnesses and incorrect conventional consciousness. So when a form is perceived by an eye consciousness, the eye consciousness isn't misapprehending the fact that it's a form, it's misapprehending that it's intrinsically a form, because the eye consciousness doesn't see the dependent origination. It just sees the form itself sitting there and believes that that's it. That's its intrinsic nature, but conventionally it doesn't even have that. It's merely a collection putting together with a name posited atop them. Okay, Digsung Rinpoche. Nge Geshe Lharampa the Geshe Lharampa you need to.
Ta lang da chibi chungu lang ding lang chibi lang so. Chibi chungu lang de magi chubu sudin de chando. O de dundri lang res. Tene chibi ding lang de ne labason. O labason la de ne taban ya.
Less so.
Tene shan chu ge sen da. Shendu du la de ne sonje ya o de ne bare.
If we were to divide all of Lord Buddha's If we were to divide all of Lord Buddha's teachings into categories, we would divide them into three. So we could take all of the Kangjur and the Tanjur. The Kangjur are the pronouncements of Lord Buddha, and the Tanjur are the authentic Indian commentaries. We could take all of those teachings and summarize them into three categories. The first category is called the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. These are teachings that lead to the higher realms of cyclic existence in next lives. So one engages in the practices of going for refuge to the three jewels of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and engages in ethical behavior which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities. And in dependence upon these practices, one is able to achieve a higher realm rebirth. The next category of teachings are called the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. And these are teachings for beings who wish to achieve nirvana, their own individual nirvana. So the practices are the three highest higher trainings: the highest higher training in ethics, highest higher training in concentration, and the highest higher training in wisdom. And in dependence upon practicing these three highest higher trainings, one is able to achieve his or her own individual nirvana. The next category of teaching is called the teaching for beings of great capacity. These are teachings that lead to Buddhahood. This practitioner engages in the everything already mentioned, in the practices already mentioned, and then couples them with the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment, or bodhicitta, and then engages in the practice of the 6 perfections of generosity, ethics, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom. And in dependence upon these practices, he or she is able to achieve Buddhahood. So the reason that the first two are called shared in common with, teaching shared in common with beings of small, teaching shared in common with beings of medium, is because the higher teachings above them practice those as well. So the reason that the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity are called that are because the teachings for beings of great capacity practice all of those. And the teachings for beings of great capacity practice all of the medium teachings. And that's why they're called teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity, because there's this common practice that everyone has to do in order to achieve their aims. Digsung Rinpoche.
Yeah.
The ngay the tumo garshene the jipo din dan tumo gare garshene ngay the last song jipo chembo jipo din go. Okay, teach. I just told him what I said.
Tadatan zeyul la yang zewala yang datan lubi kunzu ji yewa teba yino.
Rinpoche. Okay, tuche. Tuche, gonga menchi.
Tadatan ngama nala yang datan lubi kunzu ji yewa teba yino. Kete ribi sheba dan sanyen bi tsama la tenne chuba tubi chebar yodu chujang shijin la subi na yu de meba tar rangi tsenyi do na yu de mela rangi tsenyi ji tombi zu la suba yoba tar shijin la subi tombi zu nye la suba yodo di shir tada la 타녀비 루랑가유 랑가와라 뛰네 장 신지마 루비 제바메 도냐네 냐나 오나 게데 랑게 체니지 주비 모다 시진다 하와다지도 니가 타녀도 매번달라 전에 수다 전에 수 니가 타녀도 여번달라 yunzele tenne yunwa zunye dang chachala supa chungse chi ne zunyang mariba dang deba nala kumbala supi su dang sen dang tsuwala supa chungse chi ne deba nangde rangin ne mariba dang deba nala naba tangche du munango Teacher, Tadang, Kanji, Kunzu Dumba ne, kunzu deba maino she ngobala suba kunzu deba yoba zonyela suba kunzu deba manjubi cheba mateto she jena lenje tenyeka tanyebi shebala nawandaya zonyela subi jidenbi sheba naji zoba toba jidenje kunzu deba manjula ngobala subi zomba yin te zomba jidenbi shebe kundu chuba menubi jiden kunzu ji deba yogo nyana tatar yude nila tanyeme shebala tuyde denjun teba jindo yujen nijang tanyeme shebala tuyde shinji lu malu teba yino kede tanyeme shebala tuyde shinji lu malu shinji lu nyana tanyedo chubadang gelo nyado tanyedo chuma chu tanyedo sheba tanyeme shebala tuyne shinji lu malu jaba tanyeme sheba ji yina gewa yinyang tanyeme tsama de susuwa yinbe jishinge dedara zu la rangi nguyo zhubi rangin ribi nguba tuandang murungwa tanyedo shagula tenrawa tanyebe shebi ngur tene wangbi sheba na chuba yinla tele yinbi tanyebe sheba rangawa naji ngur chuba mayinba mangede pena jidenbi tanyela melala me cheba yinde lala shebe chigi yubi lala na mebe lala ni tenji la munjuba jino te yang machu yu jidenbi sheba rangawala tuyne yogi umabe sen chuwa mudu de jiden nile den yin she somba taro te ishir umabe tada chuba jula tada na yu zumba yuba mange de yu denba junan yu jen chuba juba deba gewa yino tanyedo chudanji juma tabu debe tanyedo zumba yang kunzu denba yuba mange de mari rangin dishi temu mari rangin dishi kunzu de she sonbe mari bi kunzu di ngur denba dang chu nam denba dang chu nam rangi nguyu chuba goba rangi ngur jabi kunzu di ngur juma dunyi mage shir
Ithaca.
ya
Ganyu sena de ngatsu leu sarpa gutso NGK. Ithaca. Okay. Quam. We allow that it makes a difference whether a consciousness is known as mistaken independence upon valid reasoning consciousness or conventional valid cognition. However, just as the referent of a perception of a reflected image as a face does not exist, so also the referent of a perception of anything as having intrinsic character does not exist. Just as forms and such which are empty of being a face exists, for this reason one cannot differentiate these perceptions in terms of their accuracy, even in relation to ordinary conventional awareness. So basically, the moon, the reflection, okay, we use the reflection of a face in the water. There's not a face in the water. That's not a valid cognition if you believe there is a face there. But there is a reflection of a face in the water that is conventionally existent. But neither the reflection of the face in the water or the face itself that it's reflecting are intrinsically existent, either ultimately or conventionally. So that's all it's saying, is it's saying that there are incorrect perceptions that are not valid cognitions that one can have, is such as before if you were hallucinating or if you had jaundice and saw everything yellow. But there's an even deeper incorrect perception that occurs and that is always occurring, and that's this belief of this singularity, this intrinsic nature that the things have. So all the schools believe these things exist, but we're stating they don't intrinsically exist, meaning they don't exist the way we think. I meant reply, right? Reply, indeed, something that exists by way of its intrinsic character and an object in a reflection that exists in accordance with its appearance as a face are alike in not existing conventionally. Also, forms and reflections are alike in existing conventionally. However, Chandrakirti's explanation of the Middle Way commentary says, some dependently arisen things, such as reflections and echoes, are false and appear to be false even to the ignorant. Some things, blue and other forms as well as minds, feelings, etc., appear to be true. The final nature of things, that is, emptiness, does not appear in any way to those who are ignorant. Therefore, that nature, i.e. emptiness, and whatever is false, even conventionally, are not conventional truths. So someone who has ignorance doesn't see the emptiness in an object, even if they can see the incorrect nature of a conventional object, such as a face just being a reflection in the water. They even though they can perceive something that in conventional terms is incorrect, doesn't mean that they perceive the lack of intrinsic nature of an object, and that's why they are called the ignorant. So anyone who doesn't understand the lack of intrinsic nature is called ignorant, and that's not. It's not used in the same way we would, like in a slang way in the West. You're either ignorant or you are not. Ignorant of emptiness or not ignorant of emptiness. Therefore, that nature, i.e. emptiness and whatever is false, even conventionally, are not conventional truths. He thus makes the distinction that blue and so forth are posited as conventional truths, while reflections and such are not. If someone were to challenge this distinction, how could we reply? This is what I think. Although forms and reflections are alike in appearing to conventional consciousness, even a worldly consciousness can know that the reflections and such are false. Thus, they are not posited as truths for the world, that is, for a conventional consciousness. Blue and such are falsities, but a worldly consciousness can understand them as falsities. Hence, Chandrakirti posits them as truths for the world, that is, for a conventional consciousness. It is thus possible to distinguish objects as true and false in terms of conventional consciousness. It is likewise possible to distinguish subjects as accurate and inaccurate in terms of conventional consciousness. Quam, if a sensory consciousness is accurate in terms of conventional consciousness, this contradicts its being mistaken conventionally. Reply. I just had to see what we were fighting about. Okay. Reply. There is the conventional in terms of which the sensory consciousness are mistaken when we say they are mistaken conventionally. Then again, there is the conventional consciousness in relation to which those unimpaired sensory consciousnesses are posited as accurate. If these two are the same, then there would be a contradiction. However, as these two usages of conventional are distinct, what contradiction is there? So there's just different usages of the word conventional. How are they distinct? Reason refutes the essential or intrinsic existence of forms and such. It cannot do this ultimately because nothing can be done ultimately in the system which refutes ultimate existence. So it must do it conventionally. For that kind of conventional consciousness, the sensory consciousnesses are mistaken. Apart from that, sensory consciousnesses are not mistaken as seen by ordinary conventional consciousnesses. Thus, there is no contradiction. For example, it is like the worldly convention. Some are here, some are not here. The term some is the same, but no one supposes that the some who are here are the some who are not here are the same. The some who are here and the some who are not here are the same. So also the non-mistaken quality of the sensory consciousness is posited in terms of an ordinary worldly consciousness. Madhyamikas do not assert them to be non-existent, non-mistaken. It is like the statement by Chandrakirti, those are true for the world. Therefore, the Madhyamikas posit the sensory consciousnesses are mistaken. Nonetheless, it is not a contradiction that these sensory consciousnesses posit their false objects. Rather, if a true object were posited, it would be contradictory for us to claim that it was posited by a mistaken subject. Conventionally, we assert that all phenomena are like a magician's illusion and are therefore false in conventional terms. Still, it is not contradictory to posit them as conventional truths. Gunzu Demba. Chandrakirti's commentary on the Middle Way says, because ignorance obscures the nature of phenomena, we call it the concealer. Hence, there is no contradiction in something being true for the concealer, that is, ignorance false for the conventional consciousness, with which we refute the essential existence in phenomena. Another way to translate in Tibetan and in English, so this isn't just something that's tricky use of the English words, you can translate even the Sanskrit of we use convention before. It can be, if you look at the etymology of the word, I think that it's more accurate to be called concealing truth. And what is it concealing? It's concealing its ultimate nature. So that's what they're talking about in here, is that the etymology of the word in Sanskrit and in Tibetan, and now in English too, leans more toward concealing truth. And you'll see sometimes Chandrakirti give a whole discourse on why it's called that, or should be a concealing truth. But that then leads, though, if it were called that, you can see how it's a problematic. It would seem like it's a truth. It's not true. It's concealing the truth. What it is, but it's not, because the object is true. The object exists. So that's why they chose to say conventional. They use the word conventional. The gunzo, the nge, the geche, the gunzo, the dunda ni re, the puik yahakogamare, the gunzo, the jelpo, the gunzo, dang, the ni, the dawa drapa, the sansan, the gunzo, the dunda kakare, the just go. No, the good summary. The triwa dan lanja yanura. Yene the triwa. The gunzo sansan the dondagare the nangla the dawa drapa kelen the gunzo sansan.
Triwanjidela yidem shiva neba shezum bataru tala umabe triba jola dadana yu jumba juba magede yu neba juna yu jen triba deba nge shir ingawa yino tanye do juma tabo ya kundu deba juba magede tanye do juma tabo kundu deba res ta chidan deba ni kundu deba to deba ni chukngalo deba ni dino marba kundu deba sana ne toni mai bi chukngalo kundu deba toni de to deba wa deba ni tane bare
Ine garishne the sansan the tsik kaka pecheche the gunzo sansan dawa drapa the tsik kaka pecheche gudu
kundu deba
gunzo
kundu deba oda chaba yoroda juduna kundu deba cha kundu deba imma cha kundu deba dan kundu deba la chaba duwa mason kundu deba ina kundu deba cha kundu deba na kundu deba imma cha mason
Yeah, I don't know how to ask this question properly because it's the same word, so it's the different usage. The sansan de gunzo, the pecheche, the sansan gunzo, injike conventional, sansan concealer, gangin sena, the sansan gunzo, the demba, the injike, the dunda jikten, the sanlo dandandra. Yene gunzok the genda the pudding the shogo gunzo the gunzo gare the dandan demba. Gutso due. I'm trying to explain it in paper and pen, concealing the pen. See what I'm trying to do here. The shogo the gunzo yene the shuk pudding. The pudding chiran dagdu. Yene shogo the shana the pudding gunzo. Conceal. I need to. Anyway, we can table this. I've seen it broken down. Maybe it's in the Sanskrit. I've seen it done. I just don't know how to ask this question. Anyway, the statement. So where did I leave off? I'm sorry. Did I read it all?
No, you're right.
Last part, right? The statement in Chandrakirti's explanation of the middle way commentary, whatever is false even conventionally is not conventional truth, refers to a conventional valid cognition, which realizes that things like reflections being an actual face are false. It cannot simply refer to forms and such being false in conventional terms. So Rinpoche said, if we use the words conventionally existent and conventional truth, these are two different meanings. So something can be conventionally existent, such as emptiness, is conventionally existent, but it's not conventional truth, it's ultimate truth. So when you compare the two subjects, conventionally existent and conventional truth, you come up with, when you do is it 3 permutations, 4 permutations, mutually exclusive, synonymous, you find that there are 3 permutations. You find that if it is conventionally existent, it is necessarily the musum Geshe. If it is gunzu yoba dan gunzu demba musum Geshe tanda. So if it is conventionally existent, it's if it is conventional truth, it is conventionally existent. If it is conventionally existent, it is not necessarily conventional truth. Posit, what is that then? They would say. The subject emptiness. The subject emptiness is conventionally existent, but not conventional truth. Why is it not conventional truth? Because it's ultimate truth. Ultimate truth and conventional truth are mutually exclusive. And then is there something which is both? A car. A car is conventionally existent, and a car is conventional truth. Is there something which is neither? You could say a rabbit with horns. So this is how you show the usage of the word. And we'll get into the concealing part later. I don't know how to ask the question appropriately, obviously, but you will find the etymology broken down in Chandrakirti's text, where he says that it's a better way to use it as concealing or hidden than that. I think I have another way to ask it. The Rinpoche, Triwa dan Lenja Digsun.
Maybe okay.
Okay. Gangisuna ngatsu leu sarpa gutsogudu. Juje injike juje gutsogudu.
Okay.
So now we can move on if people have any questions. So Rinpoche said anything that isn't emptiness or cessation is conventional truth. So ultimate truth is emptiness and cessation.
Of how to meditate on emptiness. And is this a method, if I look at that pot, and the pot in front of me exists, but that pot at one time was maybe mud.
Okay.
That somebody had then taken the mud and formed it on a wheel or pottery wheel to make that pot.
Yes.
So where the mud came from was elements. And so you trace it back from the elements in the ground. Maybe it was some kind of vegetation with minerals and so forth that made that mud. And then you go back to that origin of where those particles came from. And then you come to the point that the pot came from nowhere. It isn't there.
No, the pot came from all that stuff.
It can, no, yes, I know it came from that.
Yeah,
but I'm
the
thinking
pot came from everything you just said.
I'm trying to go to emptiness.
No, but emptiness is you were in emptiness that whole time.
Yeah.
Everything you said was emptiness.
Okay.
When you said this came from that and that came from this,
Yeah.
that is what emptiness is.
Okay. But the pot, I'm trying to think of myself.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but then the pot is another thing.
No,
So,
the pot
is
is
the-
all of that, and that's why it's not intrinsically a pot.
Okay.
It's not intrinsically just a pot because it has mud, and the mud has all of these other things, and it has a maker, and it has a machine, and all of these things dependently originated and came together to make that pot.
Okay.
There's no intrinsically existent pot that's separate, that you can find, that's separate from all of that stuff that you just said. All of that is its emptiness. That's what emptiness is. What if you say that is empty? Why? Because it dependently originates. Everything that you just said is the reason why it's empty.
Okay.
Yeah, everything you just stated, that's the meditation on emptiness. Everything you just said is the meditation. But you're not getting to emptiness. That is the emptiness. Emptiness isn't some final point. There is no final point. That's the point. That's its emptiness.
So every step in that way is emptiness.
Yeah, every step is the reason that it's empty.
Okay.
Every one of those steps is the reason that it's empty, because every one of those places that you came to or started at, mud.
Right.
Mud is empty. Why is it empty? Because mud is this, that, and the other thing. What's this, that, and the other thing? Well, that part, that's empty because it came from this. So everything you find, that's the dependent origination of causes and condition. That there are two kinds of dependent origination. You're explaining one of them. Okay. The other one is that the collection coming together, serving as a basis and naming it. But that cause and effect that you're talking about is dependent origination. The Rinpoche, the tomba ni gomjap gari yakshu, kon sampa, the kon gayu dagadu. Then gayu zuken yure, then shin gogudu, then the shikshena sa gogudu, then they mambo gogudu, the Ju danchen, the juje. The judre mambo tsanlo danga dein sunsang dendel, dein sunsang tomba niyen.
Yes.
Dendel yimbeche.
Yabudus.
Then did gom yabudue.
Yabudus.
So I just explained what I said in your question, and he said that that's exactly it. That is he said that is the meditation on emptiness. This dependent origination is meditation on emptiness. Then the Dendel ni show Rinpoche.
Jujela tembe to dajula tembe yiro. Da konde matabo ngalo jujela tembe yuli chibarwa. Dajula tembe sina rana ke daje.
That's sopala dene.
O kamba ina shojel tediyor. Tedne tubare. Matibar hadiyo mares. Tena chukandabro.
So there are two kinds of dependent origination. The first is called dependent origination of causes and conditions, and this refers to impermanent phenomena and their dependent origination. So because of this, there is that. You see that in text sometimes, and that's referring to cause and effect. So you have a cause and effect, many causes and effects that lead up to, as you said, the cup. That is the dependent origination of causes and conditions. The other kind of dependent origination is the labeling of collections. So all of those things that you're talking about came together as a collection that then serves, that collection is a dependent origination also. That collection that came together and serves as a basis to be named. And the reason for the two is that everything is empty. So you come to a permanent phenomena, and you have to be able to show then how is a permanent phenomena empty, because there are no causes for it. And then you say it's empty because of the empty through establishment. Establishment of collections.
I'm a little confused about the different schools and tenets of thought. Is the Madhyamaka school the only Mahayana Buddhist school? Are the other ones Buddhist schools also?
Yes. Rinpoche, the Duta Mawaje, the sound that's down now, the Dawa, the Gugumari, Yene, the Konso Kanga Ngampayen, the Je.
Yika number
Okay, Ngampayen, the ne Konso Kanga Techen Teme,
Teme Drutamani, Tejan Drutamani, Jid.
Yene, the
Shirama, Dodabani, Teme Drutama, Sanzamba, Omabani, the Tiba Chembe Drutama.
The Techen Lobjung Sheken Dodepa Yirbe. Dodepi Dawa Yirbe. Dodepa Shanchu Semba Yirbe.
Yadu.
Okay, so all of the four. Let's. I'm just going to use the English, okay? Just because sometimes I think it makes word salad that I understand in my head, and it's maybe not as helpful. So there are four tenets, major tenets: the Great Exposition School, the Sutra School, the Mind-Only School, and the Middle Way School. All of those are Buddhist schools, all four of them. Now, when you study tenets, you study non-Buddhist schools as well when you're studying these four. So that's why sometimes it becomes confusing, because you'll say the tenets and you'll start talking about the Samkhya school and the nihilists and so forth. Those are just non-Buddhist schools that are studied while you study Buddhist tenets. So that's why you hear about the kind of mix of them. Those four are the four Buddhist tenets. When you hear of nihilism and all those other things, those are not Buddhist tenets. So the Great Exposition School and the Sutra School, the first two, are considered Hinayana tenets. Now, okay, and then the next two, the Mind-Only School and the Middle Way School, are considered Mahayana tenets. But there can be Mahayanists that hold the view of the lower schools, but those are considered at if you're labeling level, Hinayanist schools. But it doesn't mean that there's never been a Mahayanist that was holding the view of Sautrantic Sutra School or Great Exposition School. It means that those schools are primarily labeled as Hinayana schools. Those schools are primarily labeled as Mahayana schools. But there's also, as a final note from the translator, you cannot become an arhat, a foe destroyer, without holding the middle way consequence view. So, there obviously with that being said, there have to be Hinayanists that are holders of the Madhyamika Prasangika view because they have arhats. You either have to say there are no arhats or they practice the middle way consequence view. Nge de teme da jomba, de umiten jor dawa mena, da jomba yomare. Nge de lapsar. I just told him what I said.
Thank you.
I had a question. What is the difference between the medicine Buddha and green Tara, and why are they like green and blue? Does that have something to do with like healing?
It's more simple. You're gonna love the answer.
Yeah.
So, Rinpoche, the garishene, the triwani, mela dang droma chapagare.
Mela droma.
Chapagare.
What the chapa yoris? Droma.
Mela lo mambo the nge the natsa you can ropa chegare. Kalpa mambo mulan jason.
What the nigga melas. Then drama kabudan. Mabudan moja.
And kongi true then the garishene the kadok mambo. Kongi triwa.
Kadu da deja ge sambi ongeres. Deja mobile gaba yona, mobi nabaten ongore. Kabul gaba yona, kabi nabaten ongore. And
so Tara and Medicine Buddha have different things that they made aspirations to focus on when they became a Buddha. So Medicine Buddha, for instance, before Medicine Buddha was a Buddha, prayed, I want to help sick. I want to be someone, when I become omniscient, I want to be a helper of those who are sick. So when Medicine Buddha became a Buddha, because of his, this case, his heavy familiarization with that's kind of the leaning way that he leans to helping. And Tara, similar, for long life and wisdom and just things of that nature. But all of the Buddhas have the same potential. So it's not like one has more power than this or that. They're all Buddhas. And then the next part of this answer kind of mixes into why are there so many colors? Because we have attachments. Some of us like blue. Some of us like green. Some of us like red. So we have more affinities for those colors. So the Buddha manifested in various affinities, various colors, because of the various affinities and the various attachments to various colors and so forth.
His uniform, I don't know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's just his signature color that he decided to project.
It's nothing. It's just, I think it's just like, hey, there's a bunch of people who like blue I want to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that are sick. So I'm going to be blue and I'm going to help sick people.
That makes a little more sense.
That's really, and that's why Tara, you'll see, the 21 Taras are all different colors.
Right.
Because there's all the different attachments to colors.
Yeah.
So Tara manifested herself in so many.
That
There may be even other reasons, but the main reason why the colors is because people like color. People get attracted to, people see blue and think placid.
That's exactly
calm.
Yeah. Okay. That's answers my question perfectly.
These beings are omniscient, so they're on another level of doing stuff than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who knows?
So they kind of know, maybe Medicine Buddha knew.
They know everything.
Well, it's like he knew that his would benefit beings being blue. Is that
Would have to be. Wouldn't be blue if it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
If that wasn't the case, Medicine Buddha wouldn't be blue.
Right.
Because everything that Medicine Buddha does is out of love and compassion
Exactly.
in order to help beings.
Yeah.
There's not a move or breath or anything that a Buddha makes or takes that isn't for the sake of others.
Right.
So
okay.
it's
That makes good sense.
why'd Nike make those, you know? Because there was demand. Supply and demand, baby.
That last question made me think of something interesting. Because if you look at a lot of the Tibetan mandalas, you see there's a Buddha portrayed in the lowest realm, that hell, the Narakas. And what you just said, the Buddhists take on the appearance
Exactly.
of the things that, since we have attachment to blue and green. So what would if, in these hell realms, these are beings that are totally consumed by anger, and Buddhas are supposed to be free of that. So would the Buddha appear as some kind of representation? Like if a Buddha appeared, the Buddha of the hell realm, would he appear in this evil?
The reason it's tough is it would appear however it was needed. So, for instance, there's a story of how, in one of the previous life stories of the Buddha, he saw somebody pulling a cart and took over, that was suffering pulling it, and had compassion and took over pulling it, and that was an act of a bodhisattva. He was a bodhisattva at that point, not a Buddha. And a lot of times the depictions of the beings in the hell realms are bodhisattvas, not Buddhas, but it doesn't matter. They would appear however they needed to at the moment. If they needed to fit in to help, they would fit in to help. If they needed to express something that was out of the ordinary there to help, that wouldn't hinder in any way, then that's how they would do it. So, Rinpoche, the Shanchu Semba, the Sansang Nyawa Drogudu, the Rinpoche, the Nyawapa Rinpoche, then Sanje Nyawa the Dro Tugudu, then Khensur Rinpoche, Nyawapa Rinpoche Tugudu. Two. Then the Shanchu Semba Nyawa Dena, Khensur the Nyawa Deken, The Shanchu Semba Tong, Ngel Wapa Tong. Ngel Wala, Shanchu Semba Dang Ngel Wapa Nyamdu. The Susu Ju, the Gari Tong, Shanchu Semba Tong, Ngel Wapa Tong.
여바 통고 말해. 상주 생바 통도 말어.
They can't. So the hell beings wouldn't even be able to see a Buddha. They would. So I'm asking if the hell beings would see him as a hell being or a bodhisattva. If they would notice that there was someone else there, and Rinpoche just said the beings that were there wouldn't see a bodhisattva necessarily. But that it's definitely true. Whatever action is needed to help beings, that being will do. But it has to be of benefit in all angles, like start to finish, previous life, past life. It's got to all connect. So that's people say, well, why isn't the Buddha helping right now? Well, there might be a karma you need to extinguish in order to be free from something even worse. So there's something bigger going on and a Buddha can't change your karma because the Buddha's not a god and not omnipotent. Maybe one or two more questions.
Okay. Beings of great capacity.
Yes.
Have already achieved individual liberation, nirvana.
No. The ones that have, you're saying?
Beings
Okay.
of great capacity, if they've already...
They're Buddhas then.
No, they're teachings for beings of great capacity. I thought they were teachings to achieve Buddhahood.
But you said if...
A being of great capacity.
Yeah, you said being of great capacity that achieved...
Has achieved individual liberation. And
individual liberation is Buddhahood for a being of great capacity. You know what I'm saying? Liberation, if a being of great capacity is liberated, they're a Buddha.
I thought that is what a being of great capacity, that's studying the six perfections. A being of great capacity, they are teachings for beings of great capacity.
Right. Those are for bodhisattvas.
Okay, so
Yes.
they've achieved. So someone has achieved individual liberation. That's
No.
getting the
Where's the individual liberation coming from? That's the part I'm getting confused.
The teaching
They have
for someone.
bodhicitta. They're a bodhisattva, but they do not have individual liberation. Individual liberation is nirvana. Nirvana is the great capacity's nirvana is Buddhahood.
Okay, being of medium capacity. They're teachings for beings of great capacity so they can achieve individual liberation.
So they can
Medium
achieve Buddhahood.
No, medium capacity.
Medium capacity is to achieve individual liberation. Fact.
So you get to there. Okay, someone who has achieved individual liberation.
Okay, so somebody who's an arhat.
Okay. Now they have to go through these teachings for beings of great capacity.
Fact.
There's these extensive teachings on understanding the nature of reality. And so why do they need those teachings?
They don't.
Then why are they in the why do they need the six perfections and
To
those last
accumulate the
teachings?
merit. To accumulate the merit necessary to get rid of the self-cherishing attitude that they still have as an arhat.
Okay, but so many of those teachings seem like they're on the nature of reality.
But most beings aren't going to go that way. That is, you're talking about like a very rare like someone who actually decided I'm only going to study Hinayana, and then that person went through and achieved nirvana, and then went many, many eons and had a Buddha come up to him and wake him up and say, "Hey, there's more to do."
Right.
This is the most rare kind of being that even the Buddhism could study. You know what I mean? That's not the normal way. That's a very abnormal way to go about becoming enlightened. To never meet the Mahayana in any point in time, and you study only Hinayana. I'm only doing this for me. I'm only doing this for me. All those lifetimes, and then you hit that nirvana, and then to be able to be awoken. That's a rare case. So these teachings they're not written for them. Those beings already have the Madhyamika view of emptiness. They already have it. But they don't have omniscience because they have obstructions to omniscience. The obstructions to omniscience haven't been removed. Rinpoche, kongi chua detsu kali kapu du mnyene kali kapu yomare. the garishene the teme da jumba. The ngatsu the jipo chembo the tomba ni the mambo nangla yure. Yene the teme da jumba the gemma the techen lobjung shegu. Yene garishene the jipo chembo tomba ni mamo gechishe gangin sena teme da jumba tomba ni gutsogudu. Then garishene konsu the lobjung she gugu mare. The techen da jumba the shine dang hatung lobjung she gugu mare. Gangin sena konsu da jumba. Yene konsu the tsok yo mare. Sunang tsok yo mare. Then konsu the ninji kuna lobjung she gudu. Semche kuna garishene konsu the namchen yo mare detske che shidi pacha nuji pacha detske che rimche nga geche go nge kalikaso chiran gegen
Time da joba tu nyedi buntu gres.
tuche
Ena nyemo bacha buntu mares.
tuche
Bacha du bombala ne sono da jitu gaje basa ores. Sono jitu gaje basa ba ina ne nyedi bacha du ne. Tempo sona salje de.
shidri okay then the rimche the teme da jumba yeshe gitsok yo marebe
Yejba.
then garishene gangesene konsu yeshe yere then the gari nyamdu gu gangesene teme da jumba umi tenjor dawa yere kon doni dopi shera yere then the yeshe gari tsok yeshe gari
Eşi de tuttuğunu da bir şey acısın bir tuni da bir şey olur. Şançu sensin.
ale
Temelde şançu semedi.
okay then the ale the semche sum ninji sum
O da
senchen chu dan mime de mena de konso mime la zepin yomare
yamar.
de in sunsan yeshe sok yomare ale I just learned something that's great. I'm not saying I don't it's really cool. All right, so a Hinayana foe destroyer, a Hinayanist who has achieved the state of nirvana, their own individual liberation, has abandoned what are called the afflictive obstructions. They no longer have afflictive obstructions, so they are no longer have the causes for cyclic existence and suffering. But the imprints of those afflictive obstructions are still present. So those imprints are what causes that being to not be omniscient. Those are the barriers to their ability to know all. So they still have they still have these imprints left over from all of their afflictions. So all of the afflictions and afflictive obstructions left these subtle imprints, and they're still there, and these create barriers to them. The Rinpoche, the Teme, the Dajomba, the Garshin, the Dakshen Nyamje, the Yomari, the Zimba, the Mingare.
Rajeli.
Ranchenzing. The Dajomba Ranchenzing, Irube.
Öyle.
Okay, so the Hinayana foe destroyer still has the self-cherishing attitude. So there's still, because the Hinayana foe destroyer has not generated great compassion, and he or she has not generated the mind that aspires to enlightenment, they still have A, self-cherishing attitude, and B, imprints of the afflictive obstructions. So the only thing that can get rid of those are the accumulation of merit and wisdom, the accumulations. Now, yes, they held previously the correct view of emptiness. They had the wisdom realizing emptiness, but it wasn't coupled with bodhicitta. remember how we have the three kinds of compassion? Compassion that focuses on sentient beings, one that focuses on phenomena, and then one that focuses on the observationless. That kind of compassion, or bodhicitta, you could also say, and at the point of a bodhisattva, that kind of bodhicitta, which recognizes the absence of reality of the sentient being and the impermanence and so forth, has a power to get rid of these things, these negativities. It falls under the category of collection of wisdom. I asked him, why do they need to collect wisdom if they have wisdom? And he said it's the different wisdom. It's a powerful wisdom that's coupled with bodhicitta that a foe destroyer doesn't have. There's some power in that wisdom coupled with this immense idea, I don't know any more than I'm saying, that allows it to categorically fall into the collection of wisdom. And then the collection of merit are all of the other bodhisattva practices that haven't been engaged in, which serve to accumulate to get rid of the self-cherishing attitude that gets rid of other barriers. So that's the work that the foe destroyer still has to do. Even though he or she has the view of reality, it's only focused on their small world, not in freeing everyone and eliminating barriers that still keep them with I. This subtle idea of I is still there. Even though they have the emptiness and everything, if there's self-cherishing, that self is there. I've had a huge debate about this. So there's still this subtlety that's within the imprint level that the foe destroyer, that doesn't make the foe destroyer have to go to cyclic existence, but still keeps them from being omniscient. So it's like just being in a state of bliss, not really, having trained to do anything else. You're not even trained to get up. The Buddha has to come and speak to you of the Mahayana. You don't just get up and say, I'm going to go practice Mahayana. According to the text, a Buddha comes to this foe destroyer somehow and says, there's more. Luke. Next and last.
Can we do one more?
That's sure.
Thank you.
This will be I hope, a quick question. The breath. When you breathe out, that's form. That's form. It's a form.
Breath is
it's a
form.
phenomena.
Okay.
When I'm trying.
Lung Zuyan. Lung Zuyan. Lung. Zuyan. Zu. Dra. Dre. Ro. Reja. Zu. Zusurua. Lung. Lung Zu Yomare. Reja. Okay, so just to start, breath is considered feeling, not form. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think that's the pith of your question, though. Is it?
No.
What?
It's really using the breath in meditation, where you watch your breath going in and out, your attention. And I just wanted clarification on, of course, the question of form and formless.
Form is
yeah,
it's just something with form and something without form. It really does form
right. But in relationship to the breath,
there really isn't any relation to the breath.
There isn't.
Form and formless. The breathing meditation is used to harness your mind and to stop it wandering. Right. So that's the only use of the breathing meditation. It's usually used to calm the mind. It's one of the most introductory meditations to do, just to calm the mind and bring it to a level where you can start meditating and start analyzing things. The next level is meditating on the emptiness of the breath, And that would be the next level of difficulty of wind meditation. And then the final difficulty would be tantric meditation, where you imagine the winds are being moved in the channels in various ways, and realizing simultaneously their emptiness. So do you mean just the general one for calming the mind? Rinpoche, ugom. The Rinpoche, zudan zume, ugom the drawa yurbe.
Zume halada. Uye jimaro, yomar.
So there, in the formless realm, there's no breath. So when we talk about form and formless, Rinpoche goes right to the only time we use that word in Buddhism is referring to a specific realm in cyclic existence. There's 3 realms: the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. So in formless realm, there is no breath. So I asked him if there was some connection to form and formless and breathing, and he said no, because in formless there's no breath, because there is no breath. Then the zuyin, zuyin. Okay, I said that. And breath is I said it incorrectly. So breath and wind aren't the same thing. Breath is form. So breath itself is form. The Rinpoche, lung zuyin, lung. Okay, lung lung dang kakare. Ale, NGK kaki omare. NGK ngatsu tsikchi get pecheshe. Dale, trugdu. Yeah, so lung, which is the Rinpoche, the lung, ngatsu the sukpo kasakala lung yore. Dene, de kakare. Dang lung kakare. Chapa yomare. Musum. But there, so the lung, ale, uyena lungyen bicha, lungyen uyen bimacha. Then macha sho?
Lungyen uyen machosuna. Lungyen uyen macha lagro. Temomero.
The ngatsu tsa, the lung. Ngatsu zugu tsa lung dro. Okay. So if it is breath, it is necessarily wind. So the word for there's the breath and wind are 2 totally different things in Buddhism. So we use them interchangeably sometimes, but I guess they're not at all. So the word for breath, breathing, and the winds that go around in our body are totally different aspects. And Rinpoche said that if it's breathing, it's necessarily wind. But if it's wind, it's not necessarily breathing, because we have winds flowing through our fingers in the channels and so forth. So that isn't breathing. So there is a different aspect to what is meant by breath, air, and wind. Because sometimes lung, wind, is translated as air a lot. And then air and breath, I guess it's 2 different things. You breathe air. So the question, then the ugom donda gare. Garishene ugom. Gare pentogudu. Then the sem mambo salo mambo dana ugom pentogudu. Then the yene the
make Meba chile sensitive staying on
Then the make kashe the June the sem salo mambo danadu the ugom nyepo pentogudue the salo okay. So the breathing meditation is very beneficial for busy mind, and it's something that can be said to be the beginning stages of single-pointed concentration meditation, because you're focusing on one object and bringing your mind to that one object. So you're training in single-pointed concentration when you're focusing on the breath. So it's a preliminary practice for the achievement of shamatha, or single-pointed concentration. And it serves as an antidote to a busy mind.
Okay. Okay, I'll end there. It's another thing, but I...
Quick question, Jeff. So is it more common for there to be a Mahayana practitioner from the start, or do most people go through the Hinayana first and then enter the Mahayana?
See, the thing that's going to be asked is now, during this period in time, or all the time?
Yeah, I'm thinking all the time. Mostly. Like the average, you know.
It's more that there's no Buddhism whatsoever.
Oh.
Rinpoche, the Jewa Tuma Mepa, ngama, the Teichen Dan Temepa Mambo, the Dajomba Chasar, Sanjay Dan Dajomba Chaksar. The Teichen more, Teme more. Teichen Dajomba more, Sanjay more. Tranka Jana,
Jiba, Rabu,
similar amounts.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else question?
That's it. Unless somebody needs to know something to go on. I wouldn't want to cut that off. Like you're a minute away from enlightenment. You just needed me to answer. All right. Are we good? We don't have that, right? And you would know. So you would know. It wouldn't be maybe. It might be there. You would know. Those who know, know. You don't have to ask. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Jatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Suji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denonang, Atsu Lamrim Chenmo Kanga Chirilnang, Uma Juba Kanga Chirilnang, Uma Tsar Shera Kanga Chirilnang.